Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Discover New Music podcast from Pelt Music. Shortly we will be chatting with Mexican Dogs after we featured their recent single When It's Gone over on our Discover New Music playlist on Spotify. But before then, the usual reminders from myself. If you would, please do follow Pelt on social media. We are on Facebook at Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Pelt Music. And if you would, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, wherever you are watching or listening. Well, welcome listeners to another episode of the Discover New Music podcast from Pelt Music. We are delighted today to be joined by Mexican Dogs. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. How are you doing?
No worries.
Hola.
Yeah, good, yeah. Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to have you guys on. We've really enjoyed When It's Gone, your recent single, and we're going to chat to you about that in just a moment. But just so listeners know who we're talking to, obviously we've got Carl, Sonny and Gaz with us who make up the band. And we always start off the podcast with the same feature because it is the Discover New Music podcast. So it's for people to discover new music, discover bands they're perhaps not familiar with. So we always start off with what we call the origin story. So how did Mexican Dogs come together? Where is your origin story?
Mexican Dogs started, well, me and Carl, the drummer, we go back years. And we've done a little bit of session work for the real people. And then over the years, we've just always been in separate bands. What was it, about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, man.
I called him. I'd split up from my band Bribes. He wasn't doing nothing. So the idea is just get in the studio and have a bit of fun, really. And yeah, we started making some noise, didn't we?
The first message he sent me was just, you're going to play in this band. It's called Mexican Dogs. As soon as I heard the name, I was like, yeah, man. 100%. And obviously, like we've never had the opportunity apart from doing what Gaz said when we were doing some little bits with the Lealies and that. We'd never actually worked together, so for me it was really exciting. I was made up, yeah.
Lucky, man.
I am lucky. I am. And then I never wanted Sonny in the band. I just wanted to keep it as a three-piece. I still don't want him in the band now. And he's in it. But
I love you.
But he was working in a studio where we were years. And he came in and just said, like, oh, lads, I really like what you're playing. Gives a job.
No, but I mean, at that point, me and Carl have been rehearsing for a couple of months as a two-piece. And just, making some sounds, and it was on our mind to get a bass player in, to scope the sounds a little bit more. Everything's just sounding too samey. So we were thinking we need a bass player. Sonny was just around at the studio at the time, and we got him in the next rehearsal, didn't we? One take Sonny.
One take Sonny. The best thing that's happened to Mexican Dogs apart from me.
So yeah, well, Sonny, that's a ringing endorsement. Yeah.
He's very lucky to be with Mark. Only mess up.
Yeah, well, it's great getting these origin stories because everyone comes together in very different ways often, and quite often it is fate that brings bands together. So obviously Sonny, being in that rehearsing studio and hearing you guys, perhaps was fate that brought you together. And yeah, the fruits of your labours are starting to emerge into the world. So we referenced already When It's Gone, which is the single we've featured over on our playlist, which listeners definitely need to check out. So what can you tell listeners about When It's Gone? What is the song about? How did the song come together?
I mean, a lot of our stuff, the way we write is just off the fly, kind of in the studio together. I don't really go home and sit with the acoustic guitar in front of a laptop. I've tried it so many times, and it just bores the life out of me.
Yeah, there's no kind of real, everyone expects a song to have a meaning or a message or something like this, and I don't think. Well, they might to him, and he'd never tell us. But you know, being the main songwriter, but like we don't kind of come in and say, right, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. It genuinely just happens from three lads being in a room together and just like playing our instruments, and it just kind of really gels. And then obviously Gaz comes up with the lyrics, and I don't know, there's never really any concept behind anything that we do. It's just what we enjoy. More so, we like the sound of it. If we like the sound of it, then we're happy. If other people like the sound of it, then it's even better. Do you know what I mean? That's if one person goes away from anything that we've done and thinks, you know what, Mexican Dogs is shit hot, then our job's done. We'd like millions of people to do it. Don't get me wrong. The more the better. But you know,
I think in an interview when they asked what the meaning behind it, it was more like when you know you don't think you have everything, and then when you lose everything, you realise that you had it in the first place, kind of thing. If you can get your head around that one,
definitely.
That's kind of the message behind that tune.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, you know, I wrote that down. It was some interview.
Oh, was it?
The other week, yeah.
I know, yeah.
Well, they haven't read the interview, so yeah, that kind of thing, really. So that's what it's about.
Well, obviously, you know, the end result is a fantastic little rock song that we've really enjoyed. Hence, we put it on the playlist. And what we've also enjoyed is what came out today as we record this, and that's the video to the track, which has got a real kind of retro cool feel to the song, and I think, you know, fits the aesthetics of the band, you know, as you make this start really well. So you know, what was the video like for you guys to film, and you know, where did the idea for the video come from?
We just got offered, well, again, we can't go into these things with our eyes closed, throw as much up in the air as we can and see what happens. But now we've got a fantastic videographer, Dan Hewitson, who's worked with us on all our videos, and we kind of wanted a white room, you know, sparse space. Again, you know, when it's gone, there's nothing there, kind of thing. And yeah, when we got there, they had like all these amazing lights, and we thought, oh yeah, let's see what the colours look like. And they got like a tequila sunrise sort of, obviously Mexican Dogs, tequila, you know, all of that kind of thing.
It looked like Get Back as well.
Yeah. It kind of, after us all watching Get Back, you know, where they were all kind of sat there. So yeah, it was.
And to get that effect, if you're watching and you want the same effect, it was a green light and a red light. So the green and the red mixed together gives you that tequila.
Yeah, but
tequila sunrise.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And
Get Back.
Also think that the you know, when we were filming it, we kept on having a look back and just saying, you know, can you show us this? Can you show us that? Just so we knew that, you know, we are very rock orientated, and you know, the 70s, and you know, I suppose everyone can pick up on different little things. Not that we do it intentionally, but it's kind of what we listen to, and we're putting our own spin on it. So yeah, it really does fit with the, you know, the graininess of it, the grit. It's like, you know, something that you used to see on Top of the Pops in the 70s when people would be playing live and stuff, like, well, not live, but to the backing tracks and stuff. So
well, the original idea was just be in a white room, just keeping it pure, pure, simple. You know, the other videos like Run where we got the car and stuff, it was this one, just keep it really just stripped back. You know, the boys in, you know, in a room, and it being white, you know, the white backdrop. But as I said, that once them green and red come together, and it created this atmosphere, this look, and we just went, that's boss. Keep that. So
so a lot of things certainly seem that they just fall into place, you know, for you guys in the creation.
Very off the fly kind of band, yeah. Things just seem to happen, don't they, on the spot. Yeah.
And I think sometimes, that is the best way. That's where, you know, creativity comes to the fore quite often. And speaking of creativity, you guys have got a creation out there now that when it's gone features on. So obviously your debut EP came out last month. And again, Discover New Music podcast, we recommend listeners check it out because we've really enjoyed listening to it. But in your own words, why should listeners go and check out that EP?
Because it's fucking boss. What other endorsements you really need? No, I'm only messing. It's good.
We write music for people to just feel good. That's the bottom line. That's our message, really. Go see us live, and I can't really elaborate on it really, but just what it feels good for us. That's our message.
Yeah, if it feels good for us, we're enjoying it.
Then you should enjoy it.
We're our harshest critics. There's no one who's gonna go over music more harshly than the three of us here. We'll write something and think, oh, it's boss. We'll go on, we'll listen to it, and then it's like, nah, we're not never playing that again. We've done that with a few songs. So if I don't know, we just kind of like, it's our heart and soul that goes into this. And like I said before, if one person goes away, amazing. If a million people go away, amazing. But it's irrelevant really. It's whatever people want to listen to, they'll listen to.
And you talk about being your own harshest critics. Obviously, in this day and age, feedback and reaction is pretty much instantaneous to anything that a musician's going to put out there, because obviously we've got social media. It to me doesn't feel necessarily that you guys are going to pay too much attention to that, because as you've said, it's, you're writing this to please yourselves, which I think is the best way that bands should look at things. But how much attention do you pay to the social media side of the reaction? And obviously with the EP and the video coming out recently, what has been your feeling that the reaction has been thus far?
Good, yeah. Going off the Spotify plays, I think that shows that people are digging it really,
and we're getting like constant messages on Twitter and that, which it can't be a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Like people seem to be loving it on Twitter. Like we're getting tagged and stuff all the time.
Yeah. In different parts of the world, the world. So that's nice.
Yeah.
You got people in the States, and I think a lot of our streaming's coming from Brazil or something.
South America, South America seems to be taking us in a big way. But again, I don't think we've had anything that we could really point to and say that it's been negative in that respect. So to kind of like look at it, everything that we've had on social media has been really, really, really positive, and we thank everyone for obviously commenting, taking the time out of the day to listen to the song first and foremost, and and taking the time to comment, send us nice messages and whatnot. But I don't think there's been, watch this is where I jinx us now. This is where this goes out and everyone just starts like thumbs down and everything. But there's never been anything that's been really, really negative for us to kind of like have to deal with or anything like that. But if there was, we just send Sonny down.
We just delete the comments anyway.
Oh, well, you guys mentioned a really good metric actually these days, and there is a lot of attention that goes towards the Spotify plays, probably too much in some ways, but it is a handy metric for bands to be able to measure. But of course, listeners can go and check out the EP on Spotify, but it'd be much better if they bought a physical copy, wouldn't it? And if they head along to your Bandcamp site, which we will be sticking the link to in the description of the podcast, you guys have got CDs and vinyls as well available, haven't you? Which you must be chuffed about.
Yeah, you can't beat vinyl, physical thing. It's there, isn't it? It's in your hands.
We like when we first got our pressings of it, we actually couldn't believe that we got them. It was like, wow, this is actually.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep the night before, knowing it coming the next day.
Yeah,
it was a massive tick, like for me, the bucket list.
Yeah.
my stuff on vinyl.
But again, you know, if people, you know, times are hard and so
Yeah.
on. If you know, if people are
Can only stream, then that's great.
yeah. That's amazing. But if people want to buy things,
That's better.
yeah, amazing. It's better. No, it's just, I don't know. It's not,
there for people who want it. You know,
yeah.
So
But there's only a limited few. So if you're listening to this and you want to get them,
buy 10.
get 10 now.
Well, exactly. It might be a classic thing in the future. You know, when you guys hit it big, that first vinyl release, could be worth a lot of money in the future if you pick them up now. So and there is big things on the horizon for the band. You guys have just signed your record deal with Fretstore Records, and obviously you guys are going to be putting out an album with them as well, which you guys must be really excited about. So what do you see the future being for Mexican Dogs with all of this good news coming?
For us, obviously, a lot more recording sessions. There's definitely, I think the plan is to get another 2 singles out this year, and then it'll be next year for the album.
Yeah.
So two singles, and then that's 6 singles this year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then definitely just working towards the album. More gigs. We've got some new management now. Who's very well connected. So he's doing his bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jumping on some tours, that's what we need to be doing. We need to just be playing loads.
As much exposure as we can get,
We're a live band.
Yeah. I don't think anything beats the energy. We try and get it down, and we do a good job getting it down on the record. But
live is where it's at.
Live. That's exactly where it's at. There's a lot of energy there, and I think the crowd react very well to and receive us very well. Again, if you haven't been to one of our gigs and you want to come and see us, check out our socials. Everything's on there.
Yeah, we're headlining the Arts Club 2nd of July.
Yeah.
Saturday night. So the tickets are on sale now.
Yeah.
See what this is about.
Yeah, no, and listeners definitely should. And you guys obviously got some shows coming up in November as well in Liverpool and London as well.
Yeah.
So obviously, I love what you said about trying to capture the live sound on record, because there's a quote that I remember hearing probably 20 odd years ago now, and it's always stuck with me. And it was either Roger Daltrey or Pete Townsend from the Who. I can't remember which one it was, but obviously they said what set the Who apart from their contemporaries was the fact that a lot of bands are trying to recapture live what they've done on record, but the Who were always trying to recapture on record what they do live. So I think that's a great attitude from you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
we're probably that way around.
Absolutely,
because we're the 3-piece on the Who. Even though they had Daltrey as a singer, they were the 3-piece really, weren't they?
Yeah.
When it comes to instruments.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that 3-piece thing, one guitar, one bass, drums. There's not much. There's no overdubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't be recording stuff that I can't do live.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you know what I mean.
Definitely.
So
yeah, that's where it happened. That's why. Like, again, if you listen to the EP, if you listen to any of our songs, they're not overly polished. There's no auto-tune. There's none of this, layers and layers and walls of sound and all of this kind of thing. It is literally, as close as what we can get to our live sound, because if we can't replicate that, then it's kind of pointless. And like we've said, we are definitely a live band. That's where we all enjoy it the most. Don't get me wrong, the studio is fantastic. It's great. The producer who we work with, Andy's amazing. But when we're out there playing live and we're interacting with people and you can see people smiling, bouncing around, that's the thing. That's what really gets you going. So yeah, man.
And if you were to describe yourselves as a live act, how would you describe yourselves?
Old,
Very bold. Bold.
loud, electric.
Yeah.
All them
Yeah,
things. All them things a three-piece band should be.
Yeah, it's something to watch. It's something to watch. It's something to witness.
Everyone's sorry, but going back to the three-piece, a three-piece band has to work so hard.
Yeah.
There's no synths, there's no extra guitars doing melodies. So every instrument has to do its thing and to fill that sound as well. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, as the band, but I feel like we do that well. There's a wall of sound there. Which it makes you stand out a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
I always say if you've got another guitarist, then you'd end up sounding like Coldplay. I don't care what you say, man. It just ends up putting these little melodies on, and it's just like, nah. And Coldplay. Not happening.
Excellent. Love it. And so listeners obviously need to come along to a show and check you guys out. You said obviously you've got the show on July 2nd in Liverpool, and obviously you've got some more shows coming up in November, and hopefully you guys will have a lot more shows coming up over the next year or so. And we've touched on social media already, but of course that's where fans do need to go to keep up to date with everything that's happening with the bands. We've got your handles ready. So listeners, you need to go to Instagram is Mexican Dogs Official. Facebook is Mexican Dogs Official, but Twitter is Mexican Dogs _. So I'm assuming perhaps Mexican Dogs Official was gone on Twitter.
I think I know I made that. Yeah. It's me with social media. I've lost passwords. I can't find them. I want the Mexican Dogs Official, but I can't log in. I think the band has about 5 different Twitter accounts.
Only one that we use now.
Only one that we use. My bad.
Excellent. I do love that. That's brilliant. Obviously listeners head there and obviously follow the band, keep up to date with the band, because there's an album coming, there's live shows coming. So the last segment that we have with the podcast is related to the live shows. Obviously you guys have been able to get out and play some shows recently, but you've obviously been part of other bands in the past where you might have had this dilemma that we're going to put to you. But the last section is called Setlist Science. So what importance do you place on the structure of a set list, and are there any rules that you like to try and follow?
See,
We have an order, don't we?
yeah, we have an order, of course, we have an order. But
Order.
But again, because of how we are, what we are, and what we want to continue being. As soon as we go out, we want to kick you right in the face. So there's none of this slow burner gear, none of that. The first 3 or 4 tunes are just gonna melt your face, and then midway through the set it kind of mellows. Atmospheric mellows a little bit. I wouldn't say too much, but it mellows for us, and then picks you right back up at the end again, to send you happily on your way. That's what, for want of a better phrase. That's yeah. We want people to remember, wow, I was at that show.
There is a structure to the set list. It's up and down, and I think you need that. You need to give people's ears a bit of a rest and show just to show different dynamics of the bands, and also for us to keep it interesting. We could riff all day, but to just do 10, 11 tracks of it, it'd just be like, I think I'd get bored of that.
Yeah. And my 45-minute drum solo.
We'll be playing all the time.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to head along to a show, and I will expect a 45-minute drum solo when I come now. So
I'm just going to play it for you. There'll be no one else there, just me and you.
I look forward to it. I can't wait. No. Well, yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. It's been great chatting with you, and we look forward to seeing what is going to be coming from the band over the next year or two. We've obviously really enjoyed the EP and really enjoyed When It's Gone. What would be your final message for anyone listening today?
Come and see us.
Yeah,
Just get a vibe for it. Come and see us.
yeah, come and see us live. Come and see us live.
Come and see us live and buy our songs.
Buy our
And
songs.
listen to our songs, stream
Yeah.
our songs.
Yeah.
Like us, please.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and yeah, I certainly endorse that and recommend listeners do that, because I personally do predict some big things coming for the band in the future. So yeah, again, excellent. Thank you for your time, gentlemen, and obviously all the best over the next year or so.
Yeah, thank you so much, and for everyone who's listening, thanks for listening. Nice one.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for watching or listening. I really do hope you enjoyed that chat there with Mexican Dogs. Please do remember to check out their single When It's Gone over on our Discover New Music playlist on Spotify. And of course, while you're at it, make sure you follow Full Pelt on social media. We're on Facebook at Full Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Full Pelt Music. And finally, if you would, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, wherever you're watching or listening, and we will be back very soon for another edition of the Discover New Music podcast.